So, like I said, you guys are going to be detectives. I have some things over here that you can't see. I'm going to describe them to you, and then I want you to tell me what they are. I want you to take guesses. I'm going to describe them using my five senses. Who can tell me what are my five senses? Who can tell me what the five senses are? I mean, I guess they're not all mine. You guys have them too. Violet, what are the five senses?
Yeah. Touch, will feel, taste, hear, and smell
Okay,
and
so let's
see.
see. You said feel, you said taste. What was the next one?
Smell,
Smell,
see.
see, and the last one?
The last one is hear.
Okay. So, feel is feel is like if you picked it up, you had something in your hands, or if it's too big for you to pick up, if you put your hands on it, what are you going to feel with your hand when you put your hand on it or when you rub your hand or run your hand over it? So the one that I always think of for feel, people will say texture. I always think of, and I don't know why, but I always think of fuzzy texture. So something that feels soft, that it'll feel like there's lots of little pieces, like little hairs that when you rub your hand over, get it. Now taste. Taste is with your tongue, right? With your mouth. When it's in your mouth, what does it taste like? So that one, I don't know why. I always think of sour. Probably because it's my favorite kind of candy. Smell. Oh, yes, Hadine.
Mom, um, where are we gonna find this assignment?
This one is one that we're going to do together. It's not on the Google Classroom because, again, I have the things that I'm going to use off to the side so you can't see them because you have to try to guess what I'm describing.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Smell. Smell is with your nose, right? So you breathe in and, well, breathe in with your nose and you can smell different things. These ones I usually think of like candles. When you go to different stores and they have candles that smell like vanilla or cinnamon or apples or things like that. They have those different candles. Let's say, not an actual apple candle. That'll work. So when you burn the candles, that it smells like apples or whatever it's supposed to. C. This one you can kind of do a lot with. So C could be like color. So like the color red. C could also be like a shape. So if it's a circle or a square or a rectangle or anything like that, it could also be size, like if it's really small or super, super huge, like a whale. And then the last one is hear, what you do with your ears. Some things make noises on their own, and other things only really make noises if you kind of like tap them or you scratch them or something like that. Whoa, that's a big ear. I bet they can hear really well. Okay, so like I said, I have four items here to the left of me. I'm going to use my 5 senses and I'm going to describe them to you. At the end, you're going to try to figure out what is the item that I have. Okay? Now, so that way, I guess it's not really cheating, but to make sure it's not quite too easy for you, I'm not going to show you on camera what they are. So if I have to check the taste or the sound, I'm going to move myself off camera so I can do that. I'm going to describe it to you all. And then at the end, you guys will take guesses about what it could be. All right. Now, some of these things, like let's say for the here, if it doesn't really make a noise, I'll tell you. For something like the taste, if it's not really something that you eat, I'll tell you that too. Okay? So let's start with the first one. Okay, I've got an item in my hand. Okay, the feel of it. A little bit cold. It's hard. Kind of smooth, but it's a little bit bumpy on some parts. Yeah, so mostly smooth, a little bit of like bumps or things like that on some parts of it. Okay, taste. This is not something that you eat, so I'm not going to taste that. Smell. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go off camera so that way you guys don't see what the item is. It doesn't really have a strong smell. I guess if you had to say the smell, it would smell like metal, I guess is the best way to describe that. C. All right. It is shiny. It's a circle. It's flat. That's about it. Shiny, it's a circle, it's flat. And here. I don't know if I can get a sound out of it, but again, I'm going to try. If you tap it, I guess you can say that it sounds clicky. There's a click or a tap when I hit it with my fingernail. All right. Raise your hand if you think you have a good guess about what my item is. Bailey, what do you think my item is?
A rock?
A rock. No. Good guess, though. But not a rock. Brianna, what do you think my item is?
A ring?
A ring. Ooh, that is really good, but it's not a ring. I like your ideas. I can see why you think that. Jaylene, what do you think? What could my item be?
Mostly all his things are.
A mouse?
A mouse? No, not a mouse. Let's see. Nakai, what do you think? What could my item be?
A water bottle?
No, not the water bottle. Alexa, what do you think?
I think it's a coin.
You think it's a coin? You think right. It's a quarter. So a ring was super, super close on the guess. It is metal, it's round, it's flat, but it's a coin. Okay, so that was our first item. We're going to try again. All right, same thing. I'm going to start with feel and then describe it to you guys using all of my senses. Well, most of them. I'm not going to, again, if it's something like a quarter, I'm not going to put it in my mouth. I don't know where that quarter's been. I don't know who's touched it. Blech. Okay. Next one. Okay. Feel. Okay. Very smooth. Very smooth. Not rough at all. Also hard. So not something soft or squishy. Yeah, so smooth, hard, not squishy. It doesn't bend. So it's not bendy or anything. Taste. This is again something else that I can't taste, so I can't describe that to you. Smell. I don't think these are gonna have a smell, but I'll give it a try. No, they don't really smell like anything, so no smell. C. Okay. These are black and shiny and round. Part of it is see-through. So it's got some see-through parts. I already said shiny, said round. Yeah. The black, shiny, round, see-through. Parts of it. Not all of it is see-through. Only parts. Here. I'll try. Let me see. Yeah, when I tap them or if I move parts of it, it makes like a clicky or tappy sound. I don't know if you can. I don't know if there's a way I can get you to hear it without showing you. Kind of.
Oh.
Okay. So, who's got a guess? What is my next item? Irene?
A marble?
A marble. That is a good guess. Not a marble. Bigger than that. So bigger than a marble. Okay, Alexa. Brianna, what do you think?
One of those bounty balls that have clear parts?
No, not a bouncy ball. Remember, didn't feel squishy or bendy or anything. The bouncy balls, even though they are kind of hard if you squeeze them, you can feel them squish just a little bit. This, if I squeeze it really hard, there's no squish to it. Kylie, what do you think?
I think it's a tennis ball.
A tennis ball. No, not a tennis ball. No, this is black and it has some see-through parts. Tennis balls usually don't have any see-through parts. They're usually green too, but I don't know. They might make different colored tennis balls. Kaylee. What do you think, Kaylee? What's my item?
I think it is. I have no idea right now. Sorry.
The idea popped out of your head?
Yeah.
Okay. Violet, what do you think?
A clipboard?
A clipboard. That is a good guess. It's not a clipboard. It's smaller than that. It fits in my hand. It takes up most of my hand. Yeah, so bigger than a marble, not as big as a clipboard. I can't hold it in my hand. What do we think? We have any more guesses? It's black, shiny. It's hard. If I squeeze it, there's no squish. It doesn't bend. It's kind of clacky sounding if I tap on it or if I move parts of it. Parts of it are see-through. It's shiny. Doesn't really have a smell. There's no taste. You're not supposed to eat it. Alexa, what do you think?
A rock?
A what?
A rock?
A rock? No, not a rock. Bigger than a rock. Well, I guess it depends on the size of the rock, doesn't it? No, but this is not a rock. Aideen? It's lighter than a rock. Not very heavy.
A pop socket?
A pop socket. No, that is a good guess though. A lot of the stuff that they use to make pop sockets are very similar to what they use to make these, the things that I'm holding. Bella, what do you think? What could my item be?
A crystal?
A crystal? No, not a crystal. Again, part of this has, I guess, similar things to crystals, but it's not a crystal. Brianna.
A watch?
A watch. No, but it is something you wear. I can give you guys a hint. You wear this on your face. Bailey, what do you think it is? Something you wear, black, hard, shiny.
A pair of sunglasses?
Hey! You're right. A pair of sunglasses. So black, hard, shiny. If you tap on them, they kind of have like a clicky sound to them. Again, not something you really put in your mouth, so there's no taste. And they don't have a smell. But sunglasses, you're right. Okay. Let's try the next one. All right, this one. This one feels very smooth. Very smooth. Not super squishy, but it is squishy. If I squeeze it, I can kind of press it together. It is bendy. It's not slippery, so if I move my hands over it, it's not like something I have to really hold on to so it doesn't slip out of my hand. Yeah. So smooth, but not slippery. A little squishy. Bendy for sure. Very bendy. A little squishy. Taste. Again, not something you put in your mouth. Smell. I'll go for it. Let me see. For smell, I guess plasticky or rubbery. So kind of like plastic or rubber smell. C. Okay, this one's white. It's a rectangle. It's a little shiny, but not very shiny. So just a little bit shiny if you put it just right in the light, but not very, very shiny. Not the kind where you have to like cover your eyes or anything. It's very small too. It fits in the palm of my hand. So this part, it won't even get to my fingers. It'll fit there in my hand. And here, let me see. There's not a lot of sound to it. Even if I tap it with my fingers, it doesn't really make a lot of sound. Very quiet. I guess if I rubbed it on something, it might make like a squeaky sound. Okay. Who's got a guess? What could this be that I have in my hand? Aideen, what's your guess?
A plastic juice box?
Plastic juice box. No, not a plastic juice box. It's a little smaller than that. Not as big as a plastic juice box. Messiah, what do you think?
A bouncy ball?
A bouncy ball. You are close, but it is not a bouncy ball. So
Oh.
it's not a bouncy ball. It's similar, I guess, but it's not a bouncy ball, no. Kylie.
Is it a stress ball?
A stress ball. Another really good guess, but no, not a stress ball. Brianna.
A yo-yo?
A yo-yo. No, not a yo-yo. No, this is all one thing. There's no like separate pieces or anything. Kaylee.
Slime?
Slime? No, not slime. It's not very sticky. It's not like wet. Messiah?
A marble?
A marble? No, this one's squishy. A marble, if you press on it, it's hard. This is, if I squeeze it, I can feel it squeezing a little bit. It's not super, super squishy, but it is a little bit squishy. So, what could this be? Kylie?
Is it a little squeaky dog toy?
No, not a dog toy, because then that would have made a sound. If you squeeze it, it makes that squeaking sound that the dogs like. But this one doesn't make any sound. If I squeeze it, if I tap on it, like I said, maybe if I was like rubbing it on something, like if I took it and I was rubbing it on, I don't know, something, it might make like a squeaky sound. Bailey, what do you think?
A little toy car?
No, not a toy car. No, like I said, this is all one piece. There's no like wheels and then the car itself. There's not separate pieces. All one piece. Who's got another idea? Chase, eraser. Good guess, Chase. It's an eraser. So it is a little bit squishy. When I squeeze on it, I can feel that it squeezes a little bit together. It's very bendy. Doesn't really make a sound unless you're rubbing it on the paper, then it might squeak. Doesn't really have, got a little bit of a plasticky or rubbery smell to it, and you don't eat it. All right. Next item. This one I can actually give you a taste for. Okay, so feel. Very smooth. Not slippery, but very smooth. It is kind of hard. I guess if I squeezed hard enough, it might feel, or it might kind of squish down, but hard. So I'd have to squeeze pretty hard to squish this. Okay, taste. Okay. This one I can do the taste. I'm gonna mute the microphone though, so you can't hear if it's anything until we get to the hear part, okay? Sour. Not very, very sour, not where you squish up your whole face, but a little sour. Also juicy. So sour and juicy. Smell. Let me see. It smells kind of like a mix between mostly sour and maybe a little bit sweet, like a tiny, tiny bit sweet. It smells fresh. It doesn't smell old or rotten or anything. Hopefully not, because I just took a big bite out of it. Okay, C. It is a light green color. Very round. And a little bit shiny, depending on where I put it in the light. Okay, here. By itself, it doesn't really have a sound. But when you eat it, it does have like a crunchy kind of sound to it, I guess. Crunchy is the best way to describe it. Who's got an idea? What could this item be? Aideen?
What are some functions or jobs performed by organelles found in the cell?
A lemon?
A lemon? No, not a lemon.
What are
That's
the
good though.
parts
It like a lime would be green. It would be sour. All of that would be true. But no, not a lemon or a lime. Alexa, what do you think?
A green apple?
Yep. It was a green apple. Well, I mean, I guess it still is. I didn't finish it, but you're right. Now, I want you to notice something. Well, some of these items, we had a harder time figuring out what they were, but you also didn't have all of your senses. So for some of these items, I wasn't able to taste or smell a whole lot, right? The apple, where I was actually able to give you all of the senses, you all got pretty quickly. It took you 2 guesses. The same is true in our writing. When we're writing, like last week we wrote a short prompt about our favorite place. The more details, the more description that you can put into your writing, the better and the easier it is for whoever is reading your writing to kind of figure out or to picture in their head what it is you're talking about. And the more senses that you use, if you can use all 5, that's fantastic. But the more that you use, the more of your senses you use to describe things, whoever is reading your writing will have an easier time picturing in their head what is going on and what you're talking about. If you only use 1 sense, imagine if we did all of that and all I did was use, let's say, my sense of taste. Some of these would have been really hard for you to figure out what they were, because some of these don't really have a taste, or you're not supposed to be eating them. So don't just pick 1 sense and only use that. A lot of times when we're writing, we just use our sense of sight. We talk about the color and the shape and the size, but we forget that we have other senses too. If it's something that has a smell, talk about the smell. If it's something that has a taste, talk about the taste. Does it make a sound? Does it have a feel to it? Use as many of your senses as you can. It helps out a lot with your readers, and they'll like your writing more because in their head, they get a better picture of what's going on. It's like if you tried to watch a movie, but then during parts of the movie, you would close your eyes. The movie's a lot more enjoyable when you can see all of it versus when you can only see different parts of it. So whenever you're writing, whenever you're describing, try to use as many of your senses as you can. You don't have to use all of your senses for everything, because again, some things don't have a smell or a taste to them. So when you're writing, you don't have to go, I wonder what sunglasses taste like, and go. You don't have to do that. If they don't have a taste, or if you don't eat them, don't use taste. If they don't have a smell, don't talk about the smell. But use as many senses as you can whenever you are describing something. Okay?